Hey, this is Mike Hambright with the Flip Nerd VIP Show. Welcome back. Today I have with me Rich Urban, who is a South Florida high-volume wholesale real estate investor, and he's going to give us some tips on how to be successful as a wholesaler. Before we get started, let's take a moment to recognize our featured sponsors. RealtyMogul.com is an online marketplace for real estate investing, connecting borrowers and capital from accredited and institutional investors. Get a rehab loan fast and close in as little as 10 days. Rates start as low as 9%. We'd also like to thank National Real Estate Insurance Group, the nation's leading provider of insurance to the residential real estate investor market. From individual properties to large-scale investors, National Real Estate Insurance Group is ready to serve you. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. Hey, Rich, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me.
So welcome from sunny South Florida.
Yep.
You in Miami? Is that where you're at?
In Miami, yep. We do all from Vero Beach, Florida, down to Miami.
Okay. Awesome. And so you kind of had a little bit of a roller coaster there over the past several years, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, South Florida market got hit pretty hard. As most people know, we were in the news as one of the fastest growing areas during the peak of the market, and then we were in the news for places to stay away from, if you're a real estate investor.
Yeah.
Now I see it coming back, like, big time. It's just incredible how much it's come back from such a, houses are selling as a wholesaler. I see people literally standing in line to buy properties from us. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's great. And so how long have you been a wholesaler for?
About 9.5 years now.
Okay. That's great. So talk a little bit about your business and your model and maybe how it's kind of shifted over time with the changing market.
Yeah, well, we cover all aspects of real estate investing, from rehabbing, long-term hold. However, I will say wholesaling is my roots, basically getting a property under contract, and then finding a buyer, usually an investor, who's going to take over that contract, and then I just turn around and take my check. That's always been my main core part of my business.
Yeah.
Even when the market was crap, but when the market's going up, it's even better.
Yeah. It's a thankless business. Nobody understands why the wholesaler, makes so much money sometimes. But you and I both know that the hardest part about real estate investing is finding deals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, talk a little bit about some of the lessons you've learned along the way from the time you got started, and probably some of your big lessons, I bet, are how to, as a wholesaler, it's not like there's a tremendous amount of risk usually, but kind of how to navigate a roller coaster market like you had, over the past 5 years. Yeah,
well, I'll say, as looking back, at myself as a newbie investor, you make a lot of mistakes along the way. A few of the things I did see, like when you get a property under contract, you're going to have a lot of people, that are going to say they're investors, that they're cash buyers. I'm sure I know you're an investor as well. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. They say they're cash buyers.
Yeah.
Now that they usually have a daisy chain of 15 people that are wholesalers as well. So it's especially important in a market as it's starting to go up that you're dealing directly with a cash buyer. Otherwise, you're going to get in a position where you have this property under contract, and now you have to find another buyer because it's just going to be a time waste. So that's one of the main things I'm always concerned about. When it comes to buying, selling my properties in this market.
Right. So a lot of folks that are watching the show understand kind of the supply chain of the role a wholesaler seller plays. But why don't you talk a little bit about how you add value as a wholesaler?
That's a really good question. Yeah. Well, basically, as a wholesaler, I find the deals, and what I do is my main goal when I'm looking for a deal is how much money, basically how low can I get this property so that my end buyer has a lot of meat on the bone so that they can rehab the property. There's room for them to rehab it, room for them to either rent it out and make a profit or sell it for a profit. Mm-hmm. So as a whole important thing, as far as putting value into the property is getting it at a really low price, or getting it at really great terms for my end buyer.
Yeah. And will you talk a little bit about some of your strategies for finding deals?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a bunch of ways. Number one thing is you need to get in front of motivated sellers. And when I say motivated sellers, I mean people that need to sell, not people that want to sell. A lot of people waste their time getting with people that, oh, I've got this deal, this guy wants to sell his house, but no, that's not a motivated seller. That's just someone that wants to sell their house. You need someone that's like, look, if I don't sell my house by next week, I'm screwed. Like that. Those are your motivated sellers.
Right.
Or somebody that's got this dump house in the middle of the ghetto, that now you've got people breaking into the house and now they have code violations. So to answer your question short, there are a few awesome ways that you can get in front of motivated sellers right away. One, pick a neighborhood, we call it farm area. Pick a neighborhood, take it, fill your car with gas, drive the neighborhood, and just start writing down every single. I don't know how this is rated PG-13. Remember, every shitbox house you.
We won't bleep that.
Write down in a notebook, boarded up junker or super high grass. And when I say you need to find houses that literally nobody's living in, it really needs work. Not you're going to find some people that just don't take care of the house, but these are houses that are vacant. Write down the address, get home, and go on your property appraiser's website and find out who owns those houses. You can find the mailing address, look it up, then do a quick reverse search on their. Go to whitepages.com. It's that easy. Get their phone number, call them up, and say hi. I see you have a house that's sitting at XYZ Street. It's vacant. Are you doing anything with it? It's really that simple. That's probably the number one. That's one of the fastest ways to get a deal for somebody that has no credit, no nothing.
Yeah. And do you market other wholesalers' properties? I know some wholesalers are kind of like, it's a little more popular now than it was, several years ago, kind of co-wholesaling or finding ways to work together, especially for people that are, have a more robust buyers list and things like that. Are you doing much of that?
Well, that's a really good question too. I see nothing wrong with it, but personally, I don't do it because I really do get so many of my own deals that I actually have people, co-wholesaling for me. But I'll do it as a favor occasionally. I just go out of my way. It's not really part of my business model to sell other people's properties. However, if you're starting out and you're new and you have a list, and that's a great way to start learning. You kind of learn your numbers. It's a great way to network. So yeah, as someone starting out, I wouldn't see it as a bad option. But you have to, basically, then you want to focus on building a list.
Right. So talk about that side of the wholesaler business, the importance of kind of building your buyers list, and it's kind of it's definitely a journey. You have to always be building it, but talk a little bit about the importance of that for a wholesaler.
Yeah, absolutely. Your buyers list is really your core, the core of our business as well. There's, it's great. We have it's kind of like another integral part. I say, yes, we find the deal, and now you've got to have a buyer for it. Otherwise, you're stuck with this property. You have to close. There's a few ways that we're constantly building our list, and we have a huge buyers list. You want to make sure you go to all the real estate investor clubs in your area. Go to any of the conventions, network. When you go to these clubs, make sure you're getting everybody's cards. You get home, and I recommend if you don't have this and you're a wholesaler, you're out of your mind. You've got to have some kind of a way to keep track of these emails. I personally, everybody has their own that they love. I used to use what's called Aweber, which is fine. Now I use MailChimp, and really, that one's free, so there's no excuse for anyone not to use it. So you use MailChimp, start entering everyone's email address that you talk to that is a cash buyer. You can put together really nice looking emails with that. Put your personality into the email, you can put a picture, you can put everything up on there and keep in contact with them, I would say at least once a week, even if you don't have a deal. But as far as building your list, go to all the clubs, start going on Craigslist. That's free. Go on there, say you have properties. If someone's interested, join up on your list. There's so many ways. Facebook. There's so many Facebook groups. You can even take out Facebook ads if you want. It's affordable at this point. For a few $100, you can have a huge list in a weekend.
Yeah. Oh, on Facebook, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, talk a little bit about what do you feel like anything has changed over the past few years in terms of As a wholesaler, the flip side of that is you're always trying to build your list so you can find new people that are willing to maybe pay more than some of the, older, not older people age-wise, but just, what I've seen over the past few years is we're getting more for wholesale deals than ever before right now. And that's because, at least so where I operate in Texas is a great rental market. So we tend to be attracting a lot more people that want to own a home as a rental. They may not be doing as many repairs to it. They may be willing to pay more because they're not analyzing it as a percentage of the after repaired value. They're looking more at, a rent multiple or things like that. They're just analyzing it differently, or they're able to get cheap financing so they can pay more. So we seem to be selling a lot more now to folks that are keeping houses as rentals versus the traditional somebody that's going to buy it, rehab it, and resell it. But of course, that depends a lot on the property, the after repaired value of the property. But are you seeing that in South Florida as well, or?
Yeah, it's funny to say. I don't know if this is just a regional thing for us as well, but in Florida, yeah, we see a lot of people now are buying more for rentals than to purchase for themselves. Keep in mind, I'm in South Florida, so a lot of times people will buy them as a rental with the intention of, 10 years from now, maybe live in it, like as a retirement.
Right.
It's like an investment for the future.
Right.
But yeah, I would say for that, what we do is actually we like to segment our list of buyers. So we will have a segment that for people that are looking to rehab and quick resell. Then we have a segment for people that would be looking to buy as a rental. People that are looking to buy and keep it as a Section 8 rental. So we know when we get a deal like, okay, this is good for this list, we send it out to that list right away, and we know we can move it back because it's super targeted to our buyers. We know what they want.
Right. So a lot of folks that have tried to get started in real estate investing or have an interest in getting started, and they fail, or they never get out of the gate. And, surviving in South Florida over a 9-year period is no easy feat. And so there's lessons that you've learned there that the whole rest of the country could benefit from. Why don't you talk a little bit about, just your general beliefs on what it takes to get started and be successful in real estate investing?
Okay. I think what happens a lot of times, new investors, they try to get started and they don't ever get a deal because, they get discouraged. It is difficult. It's not easy. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. It's tough, especially as a wholesaler, because we're doing all the work,
Right.
You have to ask someone to give you less than what their house is worth. You basically ask them for, of course you're giving them a quick close and everything, but most people are looking to go the route of I want 100. They always want more than what the house is actually worth. So,
right.
I think the main thing is most new investors are not spending the right amount of time getting in front of motivated sellers, people that need to sell. They're talking to people, they're wasting their time talking to people that want to sell, or looking on the MLS, talking to realtors. And these are not for us, these are not for wholesalers, because these are people that don't have to sell you out. They're not going to sell at a discount because they don't need to.
Yeah.
They've got, they might have the resources, but they just don't need to sell right now. So they have no reason to sell it at a discount. Another thing is, I also see a lot of new investors get discouraged and quit because they actually lose money. And I will say, just to call back to when I first started, a memory of Ron LeGrand, old school guy that always studied under. He always says don't make big checks, and you can't lose big checks. So as a wholesaler, don't make a huge deposit check that you think that you could lose if you don't know that you don't know you can close on the property. We always use $10 or $100 deposits. That's it. If you hold it escrow, don't risk more than that.
Yeah.
Right.
And are you using, to kind of mitigate some risk, are you using, I'm not sure exactly how it is in Florida, but termination options or right to purchase, so you have kind of an escape hatch? Or?
In the past, I've used a lot of those weasel out clauses, in the end, where, if out for whatever reason. Now I don't so much because I found I don't mess with anything unless I know I can make money on it. But as a newbie, I think that's a great idea to put an addendum at the bottom that specifically says, the buyer has the right to terminate contract if they after inspection, something along those lines. Yeah, that's a good idea to get out of it. Sure.
Yeah. So Talk a little bit about, do you feel like in South Florida now that I think you were telling me before we started that values are going from the time you contract a house to the time you sell it, values are increasing already. And, there was stuff like that was happening in 2006, 2007. And I think for several years people thought, man, we're never going back to where we were again. But it seems to me like we might be going straight back there in terms of people getting sloppy and overpaying and just getting carried away, cheap money. Do you see some of the same things that happened, back in the days before things peaked happening again?
Well, I don't know. See, when the market was really crazy, like we were saying in our conversation earlier, when the market was really nuts in South Florida, you would get a property under contract, and literally before you even found a buyer for it, the property value would go up because every 2 to 3 weeks, another house would sell at a higher price. So you knew if you got it at retail that you were still going to make money. You couldn't lose money until the market dropped. Then you really lost that. Then you could.
Right.
Now I don't see it to that extreme. Although I do see, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the reason is. I have my own ideas. I think maybe because there's less inventory at the moment right now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of investors that want to jump in to the market because they see the values going up. And there's limited properties that are good deals. There's a lot of people selling deals, but a lot of them are garbage deals. They're lining up and they're actually bidding up the prices. So yeah, there are definitely buyers, and it's definitely better than it was last year. But I don't think it's as bad as crazy as it was in the market. I hope it doesn't get that bad, because if it does get that bad, then it's going to have a serious problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of access, I know another thing that was tough in Florida for a while was, just getting funding to do deals. I mean, traditional hard money lenders, if they were around, they were charging ridiculous rates just because everybody was kind of scared of in a lot of markets it was that way, but particularly in South Florida. So do you feel like access to capital for people that want to rehab and get deals, people that you sell to, does that seem like that's gotten better over the past, 12 to 18 months?
Yes, definitely. Because there was a time when there was no way you could get any money, unless even regular private lenders weren't giving out any money, No, it's definitely, money is definitely opened up a little bit. Our buyers are able to get hard money. Matter of fact, they have a person that was working on getting gap funding in addition to basically funding on top of funding. So yeah, it's definitely it's not as difficult as it was even 6 months ago. So that's interest rates are coming down for hard money and private lending, I believe. It's not as strict.
So have you invested anywhere other than South Florida, or is that's the only place you've really focused?
Yeah, my main focus is South Florida. However, in the past, I've had it where, we picked up a deal. I haven't personally invested, but I've wholesaled in another state, for example. Because, for example, we had a house here in South Florida. The guy also owned a house in Tennessee. He told us about it. Okay, so we found a buyer. We just happened to match him up with actually a Homevestors franchise. We happened to call the Homevestors franchise over there. Yeah. And of course, we just wholesaled it for them. They took care of the whole thing.
Yeah. What's interesting about Florida, to me, one thing that's interesting, is that it's kind of the leading edge of what will happen with real estate in regards to baby boomers across the whole country. So it seems like there's this curve that's coming of, a disproportionate amount of people are getting older right now, that they're going to either, move into assisted living or pass away or things like that. There's this bubble coming that I think will, create a lot of volume and unique opportunities for real estate investors. And it seems like markets like Florida and, probably some areas of Arizona, retirement areas will be kind of on the leading edge of that. So do you see anything that's kind of, can you really feel the difference between, is the death rate up in Florida? No, I don't know how to say that, but it just, it seems like there's this wave of this kind of baby boomer curve is moving further to the right in terms of age, and that's going to open up more opportunities to buy houses.
Yeah, the thing is, where I live there in South Florida,
Miami's a little different, yeah.
Everybody basically say they come here to die, so it's always been that way.
Yeah.
there's always been such a huge amount of people from up north that come here to retire. We do see a lot of people that are buying houses down here with the intention of living in there in the future. So, I don't know. That I really couldn't answer that question.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard one to see it happening, but if you look back over time, I think you, yeah. Cool. Well, any other advice for folks when they're getting started in real estate investing? Some of the things that they should do. And you talked about lead generation, which probably is one of those things that anybody that's watched, been to a boot camp or watched a late night infomercial or whatever, they conveniently never talk about lead generation, which is obviously critical. But you talk about building your buyers list. Anything else that for folks that are interested in wholesaling that you would talk about?
Well, yeah, I think, like I said before, the most important thing is, one, you need to get in front of motivated sellers. Two, I think it's really important to get with someone that's like, take someone out to lunch if they've done, find a guy or woman in your area that's doing deals, and you can find them at your local real estate club. Take them out to lunch or something, really network with them. Try to meet with local mortgage brokers or go to your title company, try to befriend them, because these are the people that know what deals are going on. These are the players in your market. And that's what helped me when I started out, basically being with, partnering up with someone that was really doing deals all the time. It just kind of rubs off on you. You see how it's done. It's like, it's so easy. And you can pretty much just do it's just a path, the same thing over and over.
Yeah. I mean, that's a kind of a spin on advice that I always give people is just it's important to surround yourself with other people that are doing what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's that way in everything. Why wouldn't it be that way in real estate investing? So, cool. Well, Rich, definitely appreciate you. So if folks want to get a hold of you, maybe get on your buyer's list, talk shop, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can check me out on my website. It's just www.richurban.com, RICHURBAN, or you can just send me a quick email at rich@richurban.com.
Cool. We'll add all that information down below the video too. So, Rich, really appreciate your time today.
Thanks. Appreciate being here.
All right. Stay in touch, my friend.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. Are you a member of FlipNerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit FlipNerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry, so get on over to FlipNerd.com.